stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here.
Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please, let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat.
Everything's gonna be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.
I've got to get out of here. Out of here. I've got to get out of here.
Question. If you were stuck on a deserted island, what movies would you take with you? Well, forget about your Oscar bait or your Criterion Collection Weep Fest and anything with a runtime over 3 hours. Because for me, it's all about the parody. The kind of film that takes the rules of cinema, de-pants them in public, and just runs off giggling into the night. So these are my 13 greatest parody movies of all time. They're not the most critically acclaimed, not the highest grossing, but these are the flicks that warped my brain and my sense of humor. From barbarian librarians to galaxy questing goofballs, this is the list I'd cling to if I was stranded on an island. So grab a set of coconuts and just start banging them together into the 13 parody movies that I can't live without.
Count Dracula sleeps in this coffin, but rises every night at sunset. Chick is right. This is awful silly stuff. Dracula.
All right, let's start where the monster mash met the comedy crash. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, which was released back in 1948, and it's the granddaddy of horror parodies. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, they play baggage clerks who unwittingly get caught up in a plot involving Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and the Wolfman. Yeah, all three. It's a cinematic 3-for-1 special, served up with a heavy helping of slapstick. Costello's terrified reactions, they're just comedy gold. And the timing between him and Abbott, it's just a masterclass of rhythm and a bit of chaos. 1 minute you're getting classic monster mayhem, and the next you're watching Lou scream like his shorts just caught fire. You know what elevates this film beyond just mere novelty? It's how straight the monsters play it. Bela Lugosi, he returns as Dracula with all the gothic gravitas. These guys aren't even in on the joke, which makes the joke that much better. The film pulls off the tricky balancing act of being both a legitimate universal horror movie and just a hilarious send-up. The production quality holds up surprisingly well, and there's an odd sincerity beneath all of the silliness. For a film that came out before the term parody really meant what it does now, this is a foundational type of stuff. Without it, I mean, who knows if we'd ever gotten to see a vampire get insulted by a guy with a Brooklyn accent. For me, this film was the first taste of how horror and humor could do the monster mash together, and I've been dancing ever since.
Let's see what's in the box! Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid!
If you've happened to wondered what the inside of Weird Al Yankovic's brain looks like, UHF is the answer. And spoiler alert, it's somehow weirder than his haircut. This was released in 1989, and this cult classic, it's part sketch comedy, part underdog story, and just a lot of parts of fever dreams. Weird Al plays George Newman. He's a daydreaming slacker who stumbles into running a failing TV station. So, naturally, he fills the airtime with shows like Conan the Librarian.
Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Gandhi 2 and Raoul's Wild Kingdom, where animals regularly maul the host. So, think of it as Saturday morning cartoons, late night public access, and a cheese-induced hallucination, just all rolled into one. You know what makes UHF so endlessly rewatchable? It's its complete commitment to absurdity. The parodies, they come weird and fast, like from Rambo to Indiana Jones to local car dealership commercials. Michael Richards, yes, that Michael Richards, He delivers a career-defining performance as Stanley Spadowski, a janitor turned children's show host with the manic energy of a squirrel on pixie sticks. The movie did bomb at the box office, partially because it came out the same time as Batman, Lethal Weapon 2, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, but over time, it's found its weird little audience, people like me, who appreciate a movie that features a spatula city and a kid being taught to drink from a fire hose.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Now, the one man who made a difference 5 times before is about to make a difference again. Only this time, it's different. Who left the fridge open?
When it comes to parodying Hollywood, Tropic Thunder is the cinematic equivalency of a chainsaw in a china shop. Ben Stiller's 2008 action comedy, it isn't just poking fun at war movies. It's lampooning the entire industry, from method acting to studio greed to the absurdity of prestige film culture. It follows a group of spoiled actors shooting a big-budget Vietnam War flick who accidentally find themselves in an actual combat zone with no idea is real. So naturally, they try to act their way out of it. Robert Downey Jr.'s controversial but undeniably committed performance as an Australian actor undergoing a pigmentation alteration procedure to play a black sergeant, it's somehow both a parody of method acting and just a lightning rod for debate. Jack Black channels every coked-out comic archetype known to man, and Tom Cruise delivers an all-time WTF performance as a bald, dancing studio exec named Les Grossman. Every actor here is just taking aim at their own personas, and the result is something that feels dangerous in the best of ways. Despite its blockbuster budget, Tropic Thunder never forgets it's a satire. From fake ads to in-movie trailers, it's a love-hate letter to Hollywood excess.
Everywhere I look, something reminds me of her. He's alive, Frank, though he's on life support. Doctors say he's got a 50-50 chance of living, though there's only a 10% chance of that.
Leslie Nielsen was born to wear a badge and then slip on a banana peel while chasing a suspect. The Naked Gun is slapstick buffet that just takes the police procedural and obliterates it with puns, pratfalls, and gags flying faster than a sneeze in allergy season. Nielsen's Lieutenant Frank Drebin is the kind of detective who might accidentally shoot himself with a glue gun, but he gets results. Sort of. This Abrams Zucker gem spins off from the short-lived TV series Police Squad and distills everything we love about dumb cop comedies into a 90-minute joke grenade. Whether it's O.J. Simpson's Norberg getting obliterated by a series of increasingly absurd injuries, or the endlessly quotable lines like,
Heroin! Norberg, that's a pretty tall order. You're gonna have to give me a couple of days on that one.
this film dares you not to laugh. And you will. Probably with milk shooting out your nose. What makes The Naked Gun more than just a string of jokes, it's the cast's commitment. Drebin's sincerity in the face of chaos is what absolutely sells it. I mean, he could be breaking up a crime ring or unintentionally groping the Queen of England, and he's got the same earnest expression every time. Stephen Chow's Kung Fu Hustle, it isn't just a martial arts parody. It's a genre blender just turned up to like 12. The plot, a wannabe gangster tries to join the fearsome Axe Gang, only to get caught up in a battle between kung fu masters disguised as poor tenants and actual supervillains in suits. It's one part Looney Tunes, one part Shaw Brothers, and just all glorious chaos. The choreography, it's actually no joke. There's real martial artists performing impossibly cool moves, even as the film leans into exaggerated cartoon physics. You know, there's like characters who run like the Roadrunner, then they deliver punches, they create shockwaves, and even a battle with musical instruments. It's silly and stunning at the same time. And the villain, a bald, frog-posing assassin who plays piano and kills people with sound waves. I mean, come on. You know what makes it sing? And besides the actual musical kung fu fight, it's the heart. Chow clearly loves kung fu cinema, and he crafts each fight scene with just reverence, even as he cracks jokes around the edges. It's a film that lets you laugh and gasp in just equal measure, and that balance makes it unforgettable.
Why don't you ever model for me, Mrs. Kensington?
You know how Mr. Kensington feels about that.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Before meme culture had a name, Austin Powers was already living rent-free in our collective brains. Mike Myers' spy spoof was a velvet-wrapped wrecking ball aimed straight at the chest of every James Bond movie. This cryogenically frozen 1960s British secret agent was trying to adjust to the 1990s, and Austin, who's a toothy, mojo-obsessed, fashion-damaged maniac with an unflappable libido and the dance moves of a caffeinated game show host. But the real stroke of genius? It was Dr. Evil. Myers plays both hero and villain, and honestly, it's hard to pick a favorite. With his pinky-to-lip delivery and daddy issues for days, Dr. Evil became an icon, spawning more quotable lines than a decade of actual Bond villains combined.
You're going to have to pay me $1 million.
From his $1 million...
You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
The man practically rewrote the Evil Overlord handbook. The supporting cast, just pure gold. Elizabeth Hurley as Vanessa Kensington just brings grounded charm, while Seth Green's Scott Evil is just every Gen X kid forced to deal with boomer nonsense. The sets are delightfully tacky, and the gadgets are intentionally dumb, and the jokes hit everything from swingin' 60s culture to corporate bureaucracy. It's one of the few modern parodies that walks the tightrope between homage and humiliation and sticks the landing in shagadelic boots.
Wait, where are you going? The exit's over there.
Well, I have to save my ass.
What kind of knight are you?
One of a kind.
You had to know this one was coming, right? Shrek may have masqueraded as a kid's movie, but deep down, it's one of the sharpest fairy tale parodies ever to hit the screen. The plot: a smelly green ogre teams up with a hyperactive donkey to rescue a princess from a dragon so he can get squatters out of his swamp. But what it really does is it takes every Disney trope and just turns it on its glittery, mouse-eared head. Mike Myers gives Shrek his ogre soul and a Scottish accent for really no good reason. And Eddie Murphy's donkey just steals the show with enough energy to power DreamWorks animation servers for a decade. Every moment is a riff on something. You've got singing birds exploding, noble steeds who are actually literal jackasses, and a gingerbread man with a vendetta. And let's not forget Lord Farquaad, who proves that yes, you can create a villain entirely out of a Napoleon complex and passive aggression. The humor's sharp, the animation, it still holds up today, and the soundtrack turns Smash Mouth into royalty. It's the rare parody that manages to also be a great story all on its own.
Got very good arms.
He didn't fall? Inconceivable.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You know, some say that The Princess Bride is a fairy tale. Well, I say it's a full-blown parody in a powdered wig. Rob Reiner's 1987 cult classic manages to just lovingly mock fantasy, romance, and adventure films while still being better than just most of them. The framing device, it's Peter Falk reading a storybook to a skeptical Fred Savage, which sets the tone. This is a tale where the cliches, they know they're cliches, and the characters roll their eyes right along with you. Cary Elwes plays Wesley like Errol Flynn on a steady diet of sarcasm, while Robin Wright's Princess Buttercup might be the most self-aware damsel ever not really in distress. And then there's Inigo Montoya, whose quest for vengeance and unmatched fencing skills gave us the single most badass 6-word introduction in movie history.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Every side character is just a scene stealer, from Wallace Shawn's inconceivably annoying Vizzini.
I will, and I choose. What in the world can that be? What? Where?
To Billy Crystal's Miracle Max, a medieval HMO rep.
What?
Are you the Miracle Max who worked for the king all those years?
The king's stinking son fired me, and thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it?
It's funny, it's touching, and just endlessly quotable.
True love, you heard him? You could not ask for a more noble cause than that.
I've seen this more time than Wesley's comeback from the dead. But hey, let me know in the comments which are your favorite quotes from any of these movies that you say at just like any possible opportunity.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
I want you to sit down. Thank you. Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
This is the big bang of parody films. Airplane takes the disaster genre, specifically from 1957's 0 Hour, and just dissects it like a frog in biology class. Except the frog is wearing a pilot's hat.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
The story follows a war-traumatized ex-fighter pilot who's forced to land a commercial flight after the crew succumbs to some food poisoning. And hijinks don't ensue. They explode. Back again is the Abrams Zucker team who pioneered the rapid-fire joke format because they gave us some visual gags, verbal puns, so many sight jokes going on in the background. I mean, like every frame is weaponized comedy. And Leslie Nielsen, his breakthrough comedic role, he just delivers absurd lines with Shakespearean gravitas. You know what makes Airplane so special? It's how it's structured. Beneath the chaos is a perfectly paced plot that hits every disaster movie beat.
I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
While moonwalking through a minefield of absurdity. And it doesn't just parody films, it parodies filmmaking. It's the Rosetta Stone for modern spoof comedy.
She's lovely. And a darling figure. Supple, pouting breasts, firm thighs. It's a shame you two don't get along.
What? You went over my helmet? Well, not exactly over, sir. More to the side. I'll always call you first. It'll never happen again. Never, ever! Oh, shit.
Mel Brooks' Spaceballs is the Star Wars parody that dared to ask, what if Darth Vader was surrounded by assholes?
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
The result? It's a film that's both gleefully stupid and just strangely profound, if only in its commitment to taking nothing seriously. Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet is the pure nerd rage incarnate. and nothing goes over his helmet. This film riffs not just on Star Wars, but on sci-fi tropes in general, from teleportation mishaps to self-aware merchandise jokes like Spaceballs the flamethrower. It's just a fourth wall breaking comedy at its finest, with Mel Brooks himself shown up both as Yogurt
Me. May the Schwartz be with you.
and President Screw. Despite its age, the humor, it still holds up, largely because the cast sells every gag like it's headlining the circus. Bill Pullman's Lone Star managed to be both dashing and dorky, and Daphne as Princess Vespa, she's the kind of space royalty who could just really hit those bass tones.
The trouble I see, she's a bass.
Look, if I'm on a desert island, I need someone who knows how to find stuff.
What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
And here in Castle Anthrax, we have but one punishment for setting alight the Grail-shaped beacon. You must tie her down on a bed and spank her. Spank! You must spank her well, and after you have spanked her, you may deal with her as you like, and then...
This is it. This is the king.
Who's that then? I don't know. Must be a king. Why? He hasn't got shit all over him.
The Grail. The parody movie I've watched easily more than 100 times and still laugh like it's the first. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it's less of a film and more of like a communal experience. It's one that you quote with your friends, you recite it at parties, and you rewatch it every few months just to feel human again. So it takes, the legend of King Arthur and just shreds it into absurd confetti.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
You liar!
Come on, you pansy!
There's coconut-powered steeds, a killer rabbit, and an enchanter named Tim.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me... Tim?
And some French soldiers who will insult your mother. It's Monty Python's signature brand of nonsense. Smart, stupid, and satirical all at once. The production was, legendarily cheap. And they couldn't even afford real horses. But the ingenuity it sparked gave us some of the most iconic comedy moments in film history. The structure borderlines on non-existent, and the ending, the glorious, inexplicable ending. It's not just a parody, but a parody of parodies. If I were stuck on an island forever, this is the movie I'd absolutely take. It's comfort food for the chronically sarcastic. The Holy Grail of parodies. And I will shout "Nee" at the local vegetation until the rescue boat arrives.
Please, no more!
These films didn't just make fun of cinema. They made better cinema by embracing the absurd, subverting expectations, and just reminding us that sometimes the best way to honor something, it's to mock it with a little bit of love. These movies, basically, they shaped my sense of humor, my outlook on storytelling, and my dangerously high tolerance for visual gags. They're a reminder that comedy isn't just about laughs. It's about rebellion, creativity, and the joy of seeing a serious face trip over its own narrative. So before you go, why don't you check out my other videos on spoofs and other cult gems? And as always, keep it weird, folks.